Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we give all praise and honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
and double honor to Apostle Elder Millstone, who teaches well and do well. All right, brothers and sisters, shalom to hope for elect. All right, the brothers out there pushing his words, sincerity and truth, as well as the men, women, children who believe. All right, recent brothers from the GMS People Camp, we're back here with a live lesson. Basically, we're going to get straight into it. It was titled various topics. And now we had started talking on camera. I had a screenshot in the comment section that there was a video on Reddit about basically a little Edomite teenager. He was like 16, 17 years old. Basically, he was like in a Walmart. And he paid for all his groceries and stuff. He's just walking out. And he got like a bunch of these fucking fat, like 3 fat Edomite cops. You know what I'm saying? They thought he stole something. They got put him on the ground, etc. You know what I'm saying? Put the knee on the neck, all types of stuff. Just razzle, tell him, sit your hands, stop resisting, all that kind of shit. Which is all beautiful because at the end of the day, that's what our people always go through. You know, Jake been going through that type of situations in this captivity, man. But they're going to show the curse start coming upon them as well. Like even in their own system, they get oppressed, they get so-called profile and shit. You know, but basically in the comment section of a bunch of Edomites, they were losing it, man. They were irritated, and they basically was calling out how the police system is basically corrupt. From the government, not only the police system, but the so-called Supreme Court, politicians, all that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that they put their full trust and belief in their law and political system. You know, so they trust in that whole patriotism and having rights and things of that nature. Constitution, yeah, the Constitution.
And I screenshot. It was a whole bunch of good comments, but I screenshot 3 Pacific. It says the USA low key needs a revolution at this point. And somebody replied to him. He said, "Nothing low key about it. This system is unsustainable. It will collapse." And it deserves to burn. As soon as I saw that, I screenshot. I said, "Man, damn, that's the spirit, bro." And like I said, I appeared through the spirit. He's like heathens, man. He was an Edomite child, so Edomite, they get pissed off. Like he said, the patriarch Edomites, they're losing their rights. So-called middle-class Edomites and shit, they don't like seeing that, man. Okay, seeing them losing their so-called white privilege, etc. in this world. He said, "Nothing low-key about it. This system is unsustainable. It will collapse, and it deserves to burn." And that's prophetic, man. This place does deserve to burn, man. Right? And I was reading this, the scripture from Daniel 5 came to my mind about the fact that, the writings on the wall. If you don't know that's a term in the world that people say, but that's biblical, man. You know? The Lord would grab that.
If I could, real quick, I was looking for the account, but if y'all remember, they had a poll where they had Republicans, and about 1/3 of them all were voting for a civil war, saying that we need a civil war to bring reformation.
Yep.
So just adding further to what you were bringing up, that spirit of war is in the air. And they already got a lot of people that's, leaning towards that, saying that there might be the quote-unquote fix for the American problem.
Brother Carolina, 2nd 15, 15 and 16, we're talking they're going to rebel against the rulers and governors of the paraphrase. What they're talking about. They should not regard the kings and princes. Yeah, 15.
You got it, though.
Yeah, Daniel 5. Yeah, Daniel 5.
I got it. This is Daniel 5. This is Daniel 5, and I'm gonna start at verse 23. It says 22. "And thou, his son, O Belshazzar, hast not humbled thine heart, though thou knewest all this."
And he wanted to create a brief account of Belshazzar. He's rejoicing. He took the holy things out of the temple, the vessels, the cups, the golden cups, everything. Look at that was dedicated to how much Shad. He was there with his wives, his concubines, rejoicing. They took Israel down, etc. You know what I'm saying? He was being proud, man. You know what I'm saying? So when the midst of them celebrating, the Lord just had a hand start writing the wall. That's when he got shook with his knees in together.
And this was during the time of a banquet, right?
That's right.
And he said his son, talking about the son of Nebuchadnezzar.
That's right.
It says, verse 22 again, "And thou, his son, O Belshazzar, hast not humbled thine heart, though thou knewest all this, but thou hast lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee."
Right, yeah, because he knew about the previous history and happened with the forefathers. Because he heard about the stories. He grew up. He was a child when the situations was arising, dealing with the Lord and having that dream and all that bad and bad interpretation and so on and so forth. Him, Nebuchadnezzar, he turned into a beast.
Yeah. And that's what we were talking about. He said, "Because God has not humbled thyself." He said, "God has not humbled thy heart, though thou knewest all this." Like, Lord, look, you knew I turned his grandfather into having eating grass, man. 7 years out there munching. That ain't good.
They don't like a serpent. He said what though? He said verse 23 again, but has lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven. Okay, that's what he did, being proud, just like Esau today, as we're going into. And they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wives, and thy concubines have drunk wine in them. And thou hast praised the gods of silver, the gods of brass, so like it says in gold and of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know.
Hey, yeah, because if I can say this, going back to what the initial topic was that the brother your call started off with, shit, in the 1600s, or, when the police was first instituted, because they go back to the slave patrol, right? Going to the origins of police and so on and so forth. This type of situation is unheard of. You know what I'm saying? And these type of situations happen more frequently. And I mean, I said to say this, I'm talking about Edomite getting attacked by the cop. Oh, just recently, it was an Edomite chick in the airport. Y'all see that? Where she was spitting and everything. She was going crazy. Where I'm going to try to find it? I ain't read the comments, bro. But, the precept that I was thinking about was Mark the 3rd chapter, where it talks about house divided. Should not stand, but have some men. Right, because the scripture said what? Second, 6, 7. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning with that follower. So these type of situations are going to be happening at the end of Esau's world. Because the curses is coming upon them. Right? Deuteronomy was at 37. There you go. So the heavenly Father, that's a curse right there.
That's a beautiful point because Esau, Edom, what they did to get their wealth and their position in the world, they got it through corruption and effing over on the rest of the nations. But they're so corrupt and greedy, now they're on the lease are cutting the bottom half off, man.
Right.
They want to F you over too because they're corrupt, man. So it's funny that you're going to die through your own, you're going to fall through your own corruption, man. So you kill through your own greed.
And if you're going in on that Mark 3, a house divided against itself, that's a civil war. You know what I mean? I got the definition of civil war. It says the civil war is a war between organized groups within the same state or country. The aim of one side may be to take control of the country or region to achieve independence for a region, to change the government's politics. The term is a conch of Latin bellum sibile, which was used to refer to the various civil wars of the Roman Republic in the first century.
So it's pretty much sedition.
And these Edomites always been going against each other. He's going to the history, man. See, that's on a small level, but on a larger scale, you got Edomites going against each other, man. That's on a low level. You got, like, when you go into the history of the Caesars, the Roman Caesars, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. The first Caesar, which scholars refer to the first Caesar as Augustus Caesar, but that's actually Julius Caesar. That's what he got the. There you go. And how did he die? It was by Crassus and Brutus, if I'm not mistaken. He were two of his closest allies. You know what I'm saying? In the
first triumphant.
The first triumvirate. That's let's talk about that in the book. Nah, that's Saint Edges, 11 and 12, one of those. But there was a point. Yeah, right. But go ahead. Bring out a precept. Bring out a precept.
Yeah, I gotta finish this, but I found the account that said more than 40% of Americans think civil war is likely within a decade. So they did a poll, whereas they said more than 2/5 of Americans think that within the next 10 years you're gonna have civil war.
Right, and the brother said, writing on the wall. Because all these situations, like the banks and shit, what's that shit? SVB, Silicon Valley Bank. You know who getting affected by that? Who was doing the bank run and shit? It was the niggas on the SVB Bank standing outside demanding their money. It was middle class Edomites. That's what they is, man. That's what these. If they ain't a part of the elite, they're middle class Edomites. You know.
So I'm gonna finish out what I'm reading. I'm gonna bring back to verse 23, Daniel 5, verse 23. It says, "But has lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven. They have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wives, and thy concubines have drunk wine in them. And thou hast praised the gods of silver and of gold and of brass."
Right, and this was the ancient Assyrians, man. Which I forget, was it Cushites, or it was some type of Hamite tribe, huh? Now I know. They go back to like Kush or one of them Hamitic tribes, if I'm not mistaken. So these Edomites, we said, brother,
That was what you say.
huh?
What you say about the Ham?
I said the Assyrians,
No.
the Babylonians, they go back to like one of the Hamitic tribes.
No, it's about Kush.
Yeah, right, Kush. That's what I said.
Certain ones. So I'm gonna finish up what I'm reading. It says, gold, brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know, and the power in whose hand thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways, hast thou not glorified. It says, then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Mene tekel of Parsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mene and Yahweh have numbered thy kingdom and
Right.
finished it.
Yeah, so the Heavenly Father appointed our bounds, and he cannot pass. So the Lord, he got a set time for when these Edomites go down. It's a particular time, bro. You know?
And you ain't gonna pass it.
Exactly.
It says, tekel, thou art weighed at the balances and art found wanting.
Woo, man. And Esau ain't found one, boy. This ain't like they say in Star Wars, when there's an imbalance in the force.
Mm.
So that's exactly what it is going to America, man. Esau, man, your track record, though, your track record of this wickedness and atrocities, man, it ain't never been an empire to do this much, man. And the Lord really played. That's why I'm going to say the Lord got you the trick back. He really gave you a long enough rope to hang yourself, man. Because he could, even these other nations, when they would have their times of wickedness and stuff, he had eventually cut them short, but he's going to let you go, man. From the time of the serpent that came, he's been letting you do whatever the hell you want to do, man. So when that judgment finally comes, it's going to be horrible, man. All right, that's why your society get burnt up in thermonuclear fire. That's what the comments say. It says it deserves to burn. All right,
And that's the spirit because the scripture talk about that also dealing with these Edomites in the book of Sirach, 40, 41, where it said the children shall complain of an ungodly father. So right, the fact that you got, because these people who saying this in this modern era in 2023 on social media, they're the children of the Edomite, the forefathers. You hear me? They're the children, so they complain of an ungodly father. Yeah. There you go. These children, you know, so they complaining of an ungodly father. The fact that they said that, what he said about the government?
he said, he said, USA low-key is a revolution. He said nothing. He said the system is unsustainable. It will collapse, and it deserves to burn.
Okay, good.
And they know it's gonna collapse because they put everything in like a credit-based system. You know, they got rid of the gold and silver currency, standard.
Oh yeah.
You know, they know that pretty much these nations want war with America and more. You know what I'm saying? They know this place is eventually gonna come.
Yeah, and I quoted that precept. You got Edomites speaking out against this shit. You know, that you put, you know, so-called Negroes into slavery. They saying that. You know?
Yeah, and to the point of what it made about the fact that you realize they see the digital currency and certain things happen, and they see it. They see these Edomites, especially the ones that got a little money, so they be paying attention to those things. I don't know where to say it, but the brother Kanak in San Francisco, he did a video about at his job. He had talked to a Malachite. Basically, Malachite, they was just talking about some real stuff about the world and shit. Basically, Malachite was confessing to him, like, yeah, I got money, I got like hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, but I'm worried about the digital currency. I know it's coming, but I'm trying to figure out what I can do to try to get around it and shit. Those are heavy video. If I can find it again, I'll send it to check.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, and they know where around it, right? Because this is according to the prophecies. So you Edomites gotta go down,
Right.
you know? And this is being that time when you Edomites gonna go down. You ain't gonna escape, man. You ain't gonna be able to, you know what I'm saying, put your money in an offshore account. Because that's usually what niggas will do when it's a financial turmoil in the United States.
Right.
You just take your money and put it in an offshore account or a fucking trust fund or some shit like that. And then your money will be safe. Well, no. Because this system that they about to implement, this beast system, is going to be a global system. It ain't just going to be in America. It's going to be everywhere, man.
This the last verse that I want to read in this, Daniel 5 and 28. It says, Perez, thy kingdom is divided, and give it to the Medes and the Persians. And the point being that the kingdom is divided.
Yeah. That goes to what? Swat today. Okay, Roger Dillon's injuries and Richard the guy by the sea, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So your kingdom, the American, this modern day Roman Empire, is going to be translated to how it shall do it, man.
Yeah, and for you Edomites that's complaining about me getting beat down with the cops and get ready to get beat down, y'all complain about that. Y'all just don't know. You worried about getting beat because we gonna have police. We was bringing that out when we were talking about King David. We took the motherfucking down his military campaign, said garrisons. You know what I'm saying? Every fucking neighborhood, the Edomites and Moabites, a garrison. When you go into the garrison, though, it say police. He literally said police, so we gonna have police station too. I am. You know what I'm saying? We have police, Moabite police around here patrolling the fuck out you Edomites. Scripture says, Moab shall be my washpot over Edom when I cast my shoot, man. So I'm gonna have my Moabites, they gonna be breaking their foot off sideways in there.
But
You know?
I was just thinking about that topic of it being divided. You know, you got that amongst the American citizens. Again, I just brought out the article about 40% want the Civil War. We're thinking that that's going to come within the next 10 years.
Right.
And so you're going to have some that's for war, and you're going to have some that's opposed to it.
Yep.
Just like they're opposed to America sending Ukraine aid, and they could be helping here, you know, and whatnot. You got division in this society, man.
Mm-hmm.
So a house divided against itself can't stand.
I got this up.
Y'all got it.
This Isaiah 19:2. It say, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor.
Yeah, and if I can say this, that shit all by design too. Because at what point these Edomites was all together, right? Under the banner of Jesus Christ. You hear me? It was all together then. Now they done put all these fucking philosophy, you got trans motherfuckers. Even the Edomites hollering foul about that shit.
Yeah.
With the little kids changing their shit. All this, man. You know? So that division, like I said, all by design. You got this party, that party. You know, you got, you know what I'm saying? It's so many ideologies, and that's what separates people. Because when it was just slavery, it was two ideologies. It was one really. We the top, these niggas is low, and everybody else, we never won. All of us, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that unity. They was all one. Go ahead.
You're right though, because about the fact that Edomites, like I said, especially by these patriotic Edomites, center we don't like seeing that. They complaining. They was ready to give in arms about the fact that they took their children to school to be taught about the rainbow community. Yeah. And then, bro, they ready to go to war over that.
Yeah, because you got something known as which further separates and you know divide. You got liberals and you got conservatives.
Right.
So that's the liberal Edomites. They're the ones did the trans shit. Everybody got their rights. And then you got conservative Edomites like the CEOs and the owners of Chick-fil-A. They ain't hard. They don't deal with that motion. They ain't going for that shit. They Christians. You know? Go ahead.
Like hard part of Bible Belt Edomites. That's the one Republican Edomites. Shit.
Yeah.
But
and that's why you see, you know, like governors like Greg Abbott, you know, he taking a position and he taking. Go ahead.
it's city against city and kingdom against kingdom. Kind of like because, like the brothers were saying, you know, these different Edomites over here, it's straight division. You got some that's still into Christianity, but you got a lot that's atheists. But it also said kingdom against kingdom. Because, you know, like, even you Russians, y'all Edomites too. You know, so you got Europe and all these different countries that's allies of America. But the division go on a higher level, man, to where not just in America, but all around the world, where Edomites all around. But I was gonna jump down to verse 14. It say, "The Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit." Right, and that perverse spirit, that's that corrupt, you know, that spirit, you know, these, you know, these, hey, like I say, how is it?
Moles and shit. That's a perverse spirit. You know, like that, the alphabet, that's a perverse spirit. You know, because the word perverse meaning like to bend or to, you know what I'm saying, distort, twist, right?
And going to wickedness, mischief, evil.
Right here, the Lord bringing Egypt, modern day Egypt, to naught. Everything that these devils got set up is coming to a failure, man. Because the Spirit of the Lord is not dealing with that.
And they had the height of that shit too. Like all that, like you said, the rainbow community, the fucking women been out of order. They had that recent keep promise shit. Like,
Yeah,
bro, the
bro.
Lord, it's beautiful though, because I was thinking about this earlier in the spirit. Like, bro, the Lord really let everybody like put their foot down, put their foot down where they stand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody is boldly proclaiming, like, look, you know what I'm saying?
Choose a side.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Choose a side. Like, look, I'm with this wickedness, man. Okay, I don't care what the Bible says. I want to be a mo. You know what I'm saying? So when the Lord bring that judgment, it's gonna be no question. Everybody gonna know who was that.
I got the word perverse in all my etymology. It says, it's from the late 14th century. It says wicked, unnatural, degenerate, perverse, contrary, turned away. It says wrong, malicious, spiteful,
Man, all them beautiful,
corrupt.
beautiful ways to describe everything going on in society, man. That's what's being promoted here, man. You know? Look, and they got this happening all in schools, bro. I'm glad, man. This is insane, bro. Like, bro, literally, you got fucking I don't know what to call them, Decepticons going to school and teaching kids, man. That's really like, bro. You got to think, like, that's actually like the curriculum. That's
Well,
literally
shit,
that's
it's
insane.
even worse than that.
Yeah.
Right, and yeah, speaking of the curriculum that they teach them in school, we had the Edomite, you know, and his father. And they were talking about, he had his son come to the podium to read the book, and they were talking about, and then I would say this, we ain't even gonna speak on this, you know what I'm saying, too much, because the elder Malcolm did the lesson about, even if you search information about pedos, they'll try to label you as one.
Yeah,
And try to criminalize you about that shit. So, you know what I'm saying? This man's a fucking devil at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But that's a prime example of that situation that I just mentioned, because you had the father, he would be labeled as more of a conservative. Like, he ain't with that shit, bro. He don't want his son to be taught how to give fellatio, you know, to a, you know, that's what the book was about, bro. He said he got it from his library, and then he asked his librarian when he checked it out. She said, "You want a more graphic novel, a more graphic version with pictures and illustrations and all that shit, man."
That's different. The precept what he read, man. The verse 30.
This is the definition of pervert. It says, now, a person whose sexual behavior is regarded as abnormal and unacceptable.
And that's like what you see in America. Like I said, everything, bro. They come up all types of shit. I'm a man.
Yeah, that's beautiful, because read it again.
It says a person whose sexual behavior is regarded as abnormal and unacceptable.
Exactly, bro. And then that's why you got all this you know, like this chatter or conversation being had about this Michael Rubin shit, with the all-white party and shit like that. And people speaking out against that shit. Little baby and then meat milk, honey hopping and all that shit. Bro, real talk. You got people just, cause that's a spirit, bro. Cause we in a woke. You know what I'm saying? This is yeah, right. Right. You know, because the script said knowledge shall run to the fruit and increase. You know what I'm saying? So people they ain't just believing anything that you niggas is saying. People start to analyze it and see when a situation like that happens, when you got the subject start to think for themselves, that's a problem. You know, that's a major problem when you start to think for yourself and you ain't just going along with whatever story that they give you.
I was thinking about that because you brought up the definition of perversion. I was thinking about the drag teachers for the students and them marching with kids, stuff about coming for the children.
Bro, and then that's the spirit you mentioned that again, because the brother said it, but you even got where these motherfuckers having parades, bro. Grown ass man, I'm talking about in the straight gymnos, out in the literally, bro, like on some shit from ancient Greece, bro, out in the streets of them in America, bro, and Babylon the Great, out in the street, fucking in their birthday suits, you know,
Painted with a rainbow.
with little children on the sideline, they passing out candy and Jolly Ranchers to them like it's a fucking. And that's a spirit, bro, because that's why we gotta get out of here. Because this type of behavior is being normalized. That's why brother say picking sides, and the majority of the people they gonna choose the devil. And you know,
To add to your point real quick, this behavior is not just being normalized, it's being exalted. But quick precept, you know, we always go to Wisdom Solomon 2, but I'm going to 16 real quick. Wisdom Solomon 2 and 16 is that we are esteeming them as counterfeits. And, you know, starting with Amalek, you know, they claim to be the people. You know, Esau and Jacob, he was iconoclast, you know, we talk about it all the time, to put himself in the face and in the stead of our Savior, Yahweh Shah. It continues on, says, he abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounced the dead of the just to be blessed and maketh his boast that Yahweh is his father. So if Esau doing it, like the scripture says, he clean contrary to his ways. This devil is sick. Like Job said, he can't even eat a dog with this damn devil. Like the shit that he promoting, if we was to be here any longer, you know, that type of behavior would be legal. You feel me? Like Esau, like all types of wickedness would be exalted on a higher level. That's why we need to get the hell out of here.
Well, the spirit have switched over, but I do have another one. This Jude 1 and 7. It said, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them, in like manner giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. It's just like the brothers was going into all this perverse and wickedness that these people doing out here, you know what I'm saying, taking the Lord's rainbow, which he gave our people, the nation of Israel, strong with the so-called blacks, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, to look upon as the Lord wasn't going to flood the earth anymore. But y'all took it and made it a wicked thing, all right? Y'all going around prancing and, you know, just doing all type of abominable things. So the Lord's going to be justified of getting rid of you, just like it says in Isaiah, all right, the Lord declared the end from the beginning, all right? And this is the time that we in, that Esau, his bitch ass, all right, is going into slavery, and the Lord said that, the brother quoted that for Esau at the end of the world, and Jacob at the beginning of that followers, man. So, just, you know.
If I could chime in and say that it mentioned Sodom and Gomorrah as an example. It's suffering judgment, fiery judgment, because this place is being destroyed by fire. I was thinking about not just the moles, but another topic that's been on the news lately has been about Adam, the guy with no jumper, Adam 22, you know, and how he's a cup. You know, he's a former peace star or whatever, but, you know, him and his wife, but he allowed another man to go up in her, and it's been the talk of the town for like the past week, man. You see what I'm saying?
so it's very fire.
You know, but that's the scripture speaks about quality, sacred dignity.
Right.
And that perverse spirit. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was gonna say this too, because in ancient Egypt, you ain't have, ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, you ain't have something on that gender reassignment. We ain't had that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't had that shit, man. You know, that's why during that time, the Lord was giving judgment back then. You know, see, the Lord was, the judgment was expedient. There wasn't no long drawn out shit. You know what I'm saying? The Heavenly Father, you know?
Man, that was all the spirit though. We already mentioned the fact that you know, they alluded what the rainbow was supposed to represent and used it as to represent dominations. And it's funny because when you think about the flood, like you just read, it said it served an example. It's really supposed to make you humble. Yeah, the Lord flooded the whole earth. I always think about that. He flooded the whole earth, bro. Besides, eight people,
right?
Oh, listen, bro, just flooded everybody, man. All right, the animals got to get it, everything, man. All right, that should make you humble and contrite spiritual. That make you fear the Lord. And what do? They take the symbol and they really call it pride. Fuck. That's really the opposite of humility, is being prideful. That's man.
It's like the snap of the face.
Yeah, that's right.
Desecrate that rainbow.
When they say they test them boys gangster, they test them gangster.
I saw it. Even my church had a shirt that said Pagan Pride on it. Pagan Pride.
Oh, I saw
Pagan
it.
Pride.
Another shirt, and there's one that posted on the timeline. It said like, not today Jesus had like a Baphomet and a rainbow.
Yeah,
Not
that's the
today
spirit.
Jesus.
That's the spirit, because I was thinking about that shit too, because I see certain street evangelists, if you will, that they preaching in the name of, you know, Jesus. But motherfuckers don't even want to hear about that.
Right.
And then, you know, when they Jesus preach what? All love. This the message that the nigga was giving out to him. He was like, why fuck you up? Why that? You beat your ass if Jesus come out and save you. And then the nigga was like, I'm not preaching condemnation, brother. I just want you to know that Jesus loves you. The nigga was still high. He didn't want to hear that shit, bro. You know? And just like my nigga Denzel Washington said, he said, what Jesus ever did for me, huh? Me? You ever seen that, bro? When you watch Malcolm X, you see when he was in the hole, and then that Edomite, and that's the spirit, because once he gained some information and knowledge, you know, of self, so to speak, he was fucking coming against that devil. He was like, you know what a friend you have in Jesus? When he came down there in the hole and shit, whoever did for me. Go ahead. Who had something? Exactly, bro. I had, it was like I was just thinking about, man, tell him like shit, bro. People only want to hear about Jesus, and he all love, and he love you. You can do whatever you want. They don't want to hear about that being broke.
They feel like it's the same old song.
Exactly, bro.
Hey, I got a quick article. It's off topic, but it's on topic at the same time because we was going in on the conversion of Esau. This shit happens literally every day. You get something about an Amber Alert or a missing child or something. This is ABC News. It says routine traffic stop leads to discovery of missing teen. Then it says,
But there was just another woman that went missing. Another young lady. Another stuff as well. She came up missing.
it says the routine traffic stop in North Carolina may have prevented a case of child trafficking, according to the police.
And that's a spirit because the apostles they was mentioned in that movie too. Song of Freedom with the dude who played the Lord in Passion of the Christ. That dude, he a Jake, but he got this new movie coming out. It's called Song of Freedom, and that's what it's going into. It's going into fucking human trafficking, in particular children, human trafficking, bro. You feel me? And they were talking about how the Department of the Secretary of Transportation or something like that. They were talking about how he the main trafficker of children and shit, bro. And that shit not far-fetched because all the motherfuckers that's in government, they all small hats, bro. When you look at every position, you got the motherfucking Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of Defense, this, that. Every one of them they all small hats, bro. They all 1948. They all, Zionists. You know? That's what they are, man. So they all a part of the agenda, man. You know?
Yeah, they get exposed for them, man. Like they say, even like these so-called Edomite troopers and shit, they be saying that, like Zionists, and the finger, the blade has been pointed at them. They shame being shown, man. They get exposed, man.
Yeah, and it's true because you're the ones who perpetrated it. Because granted, Edomites is devils, but you got poverty-prone, low-level Edomite, like Pastor said. What you call that nigga, American Joe or something? Or Joseph.
Joe Sixpack.
Yeah, Joe Sixpack ass. They ain't doing shit. They ain't around here poisoning food and flying pictures and all this other bullshit, man. They right.
And that's what we call them bombshell brand.
Yeah. Lowborn Edomite. I would call it lowborn Edomites, not the highborns. The highborns are the ones causing all the ruckus.
Right.
Who got something?
And get that, I get it real quick. Isaiah 47. We're going to Esau been exposed from Babylon 3. It's Isaiah 47:1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, but thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. That's like when you see it, the Americans out there called tender and delicate anymore. And going into it, and the child, trafficking thing, that's big, man. That's a huge industry. They making that bank off.
And it is more lucrative than the drug industry. Because they were talking about how you can sell a bag of heroin once. You know what I'm saying? One motherfucker take it. They said you can sell a child. One motherfucker, he get used done with them. Go to sell them to this motherfucker. They get done with them, sell them to another. You know what I'm saying? And saying that they, bring back 5 times the profit. You know? So that's the biggest, money making avenue for these devils, man.
Hey, what the hell happened to all them so-called people that was on
Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah.
Right.
What the hell happened to that, man?
Well, we know. Yeah, they slipped it under the rug.
So this, I'm thinking about Isaiah 47 talking about the script being
You read it.
He just read it because I was looking up this article and I mentioned it on the line, and
the thing is, it said what Florida lawyers reported back to the U.S. after allegedly paying to sexually abuse children in Cambodia. So he was paying for that in a different country, which a lot of times they do. They go overseas to do their wickedness and then try to come back to America like shit smooth. But he got deported back. You see, and that's a lawyer. All right. Then you had the other guy who got stabbed up in prison. He was Simone Biles' the doctor.
No.
The doctor.
He was like trainer.
Yeah, trainer or something like the doctor. And he got pretty much arrested, and they said he recently was stabbed and shit. So their skirt has been uncovered.
Now that's a spirit because Elias Wamba, I forget which elder it was. I think it was Elias Wamba, or it could have been another elder, but they had made a point about how there was a power move with the Epstein shit because they had so-called individuals like Prince Charles and Prince Harry, whatever them niggas was associated with it. They had like Bill Clinton and all these, but they mentioned all these motherfuckers that had ties to that. Now the point is that was a power move to get all those other motherfuckers on board with the agenda. You know what I'm saying? So that's now that they on board, they'll go away, so to speak. I forget who was mentioning that, but it was like, yeah, that was a valid point that the brother was making and shit like that. When you look at Flint, I'm saying, yeah, well, that shit sound plausible.
Verse 2, Isaiah 47:2. Take the millstones and grind meal.
Right, because y'all going into slavery.
Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Every time this man's shame being seen, he received a shame for spewing upon his glory. Okay, how about Shimei Shah's exposing this even like that because we're coming into a time where he's about to get taken down. Right. Brothers quoted that earlier that Esau is the end of the world, the beginning of it that followed. So we in a time about this man being exposed. Remember that series that came out, brothers was doing about exposing him. For a multitude of different reasons. This is, exposing this man.
Yeah, right. I remember we had the series. This is why we call you the devil.
This is why we call you the devil.
And that was another series of, going into what? GMOs and, you know what I'm saying? Pesticides and, you can name it, man. It's a litany of things a laundry list of shit that we was breaking out. Oh yeah, that too. Teflon with the devil we know, with the documentary on Netflix and all that shit, that non-stick shit, bro.
So this is wrong, and he's track record wrong, but this nigga doing all type of shit. He literally like been wicked in every single aspect of life. Things you didn't even think of, like you think about his light bulb. He somehow make a way to make the light bulb wicked.
You know, bro.
He jumped down to 8.
Yeah.
And then it will make the light bulb to fucking because this devil he's into biology. So he studies the body. So he'll make a light bulb like a fucking bright ass LED light with the television, hey, fucking staring at it all day. I seen like some people who like autistic or like a particular, I think they got a particular like illness or whatever. If they see those lights, bro, they'll fucking bug out. Gotta see epilepsy.
If the strobe lights.
Yes, brother. Yes. Strobe lights. So like the brother said, he make the damn light wicked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that don't have a righteous purpose.
Right. Because on the left hand side, what they do in America, every October 31st, they set up 100 houses. And a lot of times inside those 100 houses, or even like maybe playing laser tags or some shit like that, they have those strobe lights that constantly go on and off real quick, and people have an adverse reaction.
And light bulbs, the light bulbs in like in people's houses can make you have cancer.
It's I bet, brother.
Because the sun.
God knows, right? Because that's an artificial light. You're supposed to have windows. Bro, you got Edomites, they got windows in their roof. Even where the sun and in the night it's raining, you see the rain, you can see the moon and the stars like you're in a fucking, like I'm in a Maybach or something. You know? The moon roof and all that shit. It ain't house, bro. So yeah, that shit, and then it's all about money too. Y'all create this avenue to bring in a certain, stream of money for a certain thing, brother. You hear me? And then, because this how you know it's about money. You got 100,000 motherfucking brands of light bulbs. You got this brand of light bulb, you got that brand of light bulb. Like, my nigga, why can't one company corner the market.
Yeah.
All you need all these motherfucking light bulbs.
Shape different.
Bro, yeah. Competition. Yeah. See, that's monopoly, man.
That shit
That's
wild.
how this stuff operates.
Right, monopoly, bro. That's right.
You want verse 7?
Yep.
Isaiah 47:7. Thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever.
Yeah. Hey, I don't want you to read down to like 13.
Hey, but
So, yeah,
you
with that.
a goddamn whore.
And
You right here perpetrating around master. Like you a real like I'm lady ass motherfucker. That's a lady ass. This a lady bitch. That's the type of lady you is. That's a lady bitch. Go ahead, that's
thou
right.
saidest, I shall be a lady forever. That thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst thou remember the latter end of it. Lay your latter end.
That's it.
Just like you saw when he sold the birthright to Jacob. He didn't think about his latter end. He said, I'm at the point to God. What good would his birthright do to him?
Yeah, right. Because he is he ain't a prudent individual.
Right.
He don't look forward to the future with care. He ain't prudent, man. He don't have no prudence about him. That nigga just living in the now.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it definitely is. Because you gotta be in the spiritual, you gotta be in the spirit to see things. No, to see things, that's right, brother, but to see things afar off,
Right.
you gotta be in the spirit of the Lord to be able to do that, man.
You see that Peter, 2 Peter, the first chapter.
Mm-hmm. It says, verse 8, therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me.
I think of the two scriptures, Revelation, it said they bear something to every day.
That's good.
Luke 16.
Well, so like if we're Revelation 18, saying something live deliciously.
Yeah.
Go after the same thing. But so those two. But I was also thinking of, because it said that I'm giving pleasure, this is a place that dwell without walls. Like
Yeah.
carelessly.
Yeah.
They're giving the pleasures, they ain't got to care for a war. They think America be untouched.
Yeah, and I always mention the movie Pinocchio, the old one, bro, the old original. Yeah, that I always mention it. It's something called Pleasure Island.
Yeah.
That's what Pinocchio went there. He smoked cigars. This nigga was just, he was just indulging in all the pleasures of the flesh. He was smoking cigars. This nigga was drinking beer. This is a can. Huh? Yeah, the cartoon, the old school one though. The old school one. You know, so that place, and that's spiritual, bro. It's equivalent, right? Because like the brother said, that's Esau prophesying on the left hand side. You put these movies out, you got these different messages in these movies, but that Pleasure Island is basically reminiscent of this place, man. You know?
Because you could come here and just be a freak. Like
Yeah, because you got certain things like particular fruits that don't even grow during a certain time. You know what I'm saying? But here it is, right? You got access to particular things that's only you got some on the in season and out of season. You got certain fruits and things that's in season and then they out of season. But you over here, you can get that shit wherever you want it. You go to the right store, you gonna get that shit, bro.
Like certain shit is named to certain things.
That's the point, exactly.
Says, I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But,
So they think they're gonna be untouched. Yeah? You know, but little do they know that Yahweh Shah already got a prophesied that that's the only way that this place is gonna go down.
Yeah, manifest destiny part 2. That's what it is. That's the part of it, man. He ain't gonna sit as a widow, but yeah, okay. Because who gonna go off to fighting the wars?
right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm talking about for these women, for example, man.
It says, verse 9, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day, the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments.
Right.
It says perfection.
That's right, man. And why? For the controversy of Zion. As the scriptures say, man. You know, that the Lord will destroy you, destroy this place all for the, first and foremost for his name's sake, but also for us.
It said the great abundance of thine enchantments, man. You saw, man, he working double time with triple time.
Right.
And with this sorcery, man. He got these people bewitched, man. These people are bugged out.
I mean, it's in the food, it's in the air.
Yep.
He got 5G, he got we got the media,
Psychological operation,
ads, not just on the phone, but like billboards.
This nigga got gig economy.
you know, got these people really trusting and hoping in this bitch, man. He gave a diligent search, man. He like he really covered all facets, man. That if the Heavenly Father not with you, you would have been deceived. That's what Scripture speaks about. You know, Matthew 24. But you got it.
It says, verse 10, "But thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge have perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me."
That scripture in Sirach that talk about the walls covered up and feel like the preacher for Heavenly Father.
Sirach,
Is it 18?
Sirach, I want to say 19, but 23 and 19.
Yeah, about 23 years. 23 and 18, it says, "A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? And I have to pass about with darkness, the walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins."
Right, that's why you got things like Bohemian Grove, and you know, these secret locations where they go do these rituals and shit like this. They don't do it in the public eye. Well, now they doing it because they so fucking bold now. They just do that shit butt ass naked in the streets, you know. But prior, they'll have locations where they meet up at. Bohemian Grove, man, when it comes to mind. Brother,
They came out with that movie, and forgive me because I forget the name, but it was like pretty much going into all of that with the white, black checker floor. It came out in the 90s, though.
Oh, you talking about Eyes Wide Shut?
Yeah, Eyes Wide Shut.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that was just a representation back then.
yeah, right. So you see, that's what these Edomites do. They do that shit, and then they'll think like the Lord don't know. Like, nigga, the Lord is right there in there. You know?
Talking about, about this devil, talking about there's no God. You know what I mean? And they said it in their mind. You know what I'm saying? The Lord knows.
And the Lord ain't there, but his what I would use, his associate, if you will, his messenger. His messenger is his minister. That's what I said. His minister is there, man. I'm talking about those spirits on the left hand side. They represent, they form the half of the Lord, man.
The scriptures in Proverbs talk about the bird of the air shall carry. Talk about the frequently mindful of the word that thou speak.
Right.
The bird of the air shall carry the matter.
Right.
And speaking about the angels, man.
Right.
So you gotta be mindful even what you say, because it's gonna get back to it.
And then think about it too. You have people that's part of those societies, culture shit, right? And then they'll have people that'll fucking tell us how you think people know about it in the first place. You had right, like Jordan Maxwell. All those people that Apostle Gabor, he be mentioning so many people, bro. They ain't coming to mind right, but Jordan Maxwell is one of them, man. And he was an insider, bro. That's why he know all that information. Eustace Mullins, that's another one. He wrote that book, The Secrets of the Federal Reserve and shit. He studied at the Library of Congress. Like, bro, what the fuck you think these people was just, no, they knew because they was a part of it. And then people that's a part of those circles, man, they'll fucking tell. Like, when you watch, because they'll have something known as what? Conscience. Oh, this is, like what's his name? What's that dude, man, who directed a movie with Eddie Murphy? Trading Places. Alice Russo. You know? But certain of these Edomites, they'll have a so-called like a conscience. They be like, no, they don't want to do this. You know? And then they'll go and, whistleblow. You know? And leak, classified information to the public. And people run with that shit, bro.
And I got real quick, this was just for edification's sake. Ecclesiastes 10:20 says, "Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber, for a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter." And that was the one that I was quoting. All right, and I also wanted to finish up this real quick, and you got it back. Ecclesiastes 23, verse 19. "Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts." So the Heavenly Father is pretty much, he's privy or aware of, even the things that he tries to do in secrecy on the left-hand side.
Since you say that, it's Second Ezra 6:10 and 62. "Yea, in the spirit of the Almighty power, which made all things and searches out all things, all hidden things in the secrets of the earth. Surely he knoweth your inventions and what you think in your hearts, even them that sinned and would hide their sins. So that's what he's been essentially. See, he's been exposed and discovered. All right, on everything. Even going to the Georgia Guidestones, he put in the 8 languages that he wants to pretty much depopulate humanity. And he got them so brainwashed and deceived that they don't even rebel or speak against him. Right? You see, but nonetheless, his witty inventions have been sought out and found out. Now, the brother got it back on the shot. Finish out where you at.
Isaiah 47:11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not look from whence it rises.
It's gonna come upon you. You ain't gonna know where it's coming from.
Right.
It's coming from above. From
Get bad. So that evil goes is a compound word. Evil meaning time, ill meaning bad. So that's what's about to come upon you, Edomite. Bad times. Also quoting the book of Luke, the 16th chapter. That's what our forefather Abraham told that we see us and Abraham's bosom. Representation of the kingdom. He said, remember your time. Matter of fact, get Luke real quick. He wanted to drop, I just read something about time. Spirit being God, that's the spirit. Was that right here? That's something? About no,
Salaki.
no. It was the precept of the evil time. So you get Luke 16.
It's Luke 16 and 22, and it reads, and it came to pass that the beggar died.
Right, the beggar is representation of Israel. Okay, go ahead.
And was carried by the angel unto Abraham's bosom.
Right, the bosom, that's talking about the kingdom, man. Go ahead, Abraham's bosom, go ahead.
The rich man also died.
Yeah, the rich man is talking about your Edomites. Keep going.
And was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torment.
Right, because our heaven is your hell. So that's what you're going into in hell, right? It ain't talking about, the grave. We're talking about the condition of living, because that's going to be your future condition of living for 1,000 years, right? Until the Heavenly Father give us until the Heavenly Father beckon us to round you demons up and set you on fire. Go ahead.
It says, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water.
Right, because these devils, they're going to be looking for mercy in the kingdom of heaven. Go ahead.
And cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame.
Because they're going to be catching hell. They motherfucking won. Going to get armor. They motherfucking won. Like the prophet said, we're going to see how Edomites going to survive. Bro.
They won.
We're going to have power and all that. That shit died. It's a lot of Edomites, man. It's a lot of Edomites to the point we be fucking them up every day, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just taking them off the earth. Okay, let's go.
He said, let me fuck some of myself, then I'm gonna start the day. And then that feels good. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day.
God knows. Because you got, in this society, niggas, they say, I'm starting off my day with unperk. Look, no. we gonna start our day like the brother said, Go ahead.
25. So I gotta say, hop in the bathtub after that.
God knows, real talk. Early in the morning, before the sun come up, that's gonna be a workout. Straight.
Struggling with a little something.
God knows, bro.
25.
Get fresh as fuck, then walk outside, bug, nigga. I need to fuck them up.
Prophet also talk about that we're gonna meditate terror on these devils, man. So as soon as we get up, man, we're gonna have that fucking rod of iron on you devils back, man. Going back to Luke 16 and 25, but Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime
Thou and thy what?
receivest thy good things.
So right, that's what we living in right now. That's what you witnessing. The lifetime of the Edomites, and they getting all the good things. That was the blessing that our forefather Isaac gave to them.
It says, and likewise Lazarus evil things.
Mm-hmm. Right, so yeah, we was getting fucked up, persecuted, slandered, right?
Trail for tears being marched around the four corners of the earth, man.
Mm-hmm.
But it says, but now he is comforted, and thou art tormented.
Right. So that's gonna be in the kingdom, man. Which we comforted right now. Because the Lord said that He will leave us comforted. And He gonna send us the comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, man. The Lord said He would have always, even to the end of the world, man. Right. You know, so we already comforted. But it's gonna be it's gonna be obvious that we comforted in the kingdom of heaven. We ain't gonna be worried about rep. You know what I'm saying? Stressing out about this, don't know what tomorrow holds,
Right. Right. And when the Edomites, another nation, like potatoes now.
Yeah. Right, yeah, so right, yeah. Now it's gonna be 1,000-year rulership. And then they rise up with spears and like what kind of weapons is they gonna have? That's the crazy part. How these niggas gonna get these weapons that they supposedly gonna take us down with? I don't get it, man. Go ahead. Because that's what happened last time. The Lord gave their ass the sword. Where you gonna get a weapon from them? And that weapon was blessed by the Heavenly Father. Go ahead.
Luke 16 is 26. And it says, and beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed.
Right, which is the separation. They never gonna come together with these Edomites, man. And that's what our people fail to realize. They want to be integrated. No, segregation is the best way for the Lord's people, man. We would integrate because pursuant to the scriptures, they turn your heart from you to your sons, your daughters to their sons, brothers know the precept. But they'll turn your heart and follow after the Heavenly Father. So that's the main reason we want to fuck with them, bro.
It says, so that they which will pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us, that would come from thence.
Right. And that's the point right here. Because I wanted the precept we were talking about in their lifetime. They receive good things, man. So going back to Isaiah the 47th chapter, evil gonna come upon you, bad time. You can wrap up whatever y'all got.
Isaiah 47 and verse 11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. It says, stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, and so be thou shalt be able to profit, and so be thou mayest prevail. And basically the Lord is making mockery of you. There's nothing you're going to do is going to be able to prevail. We mentioned it, we started off in that day of 5, man. The Lord had numbered thy kingdom and finished it. That happened to the ancient Babylonians. That's what happened to the modern day Babylonians, man. All right? And nothing you do, no matter no witchcraft, sorcery, anything, trying to conjure up, these do all type of shit. They got like a certain thing, the moon is only going to be this position only once every 200 years, all type of shit.
Yeah, they got the CERN, particle collider. They want to open up a portal and go to another dimension. That ain't gonna work.
None of that's going to have you prevail, man. You don't know that what it is into Luke 16. That's going to happen. That's a prepared by some prophecy, man. The rich man is going to come down, man. All right? So that, and Lord, with that was edifying. We're going to give our praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashua, Kakadash.
the Lord's apostles, the millstone, and the shalom to hopefully, the Bible, and Father,
Father, all, shalom.